So guys, today got a video here going over 3 things that I found within the articles that were released about a week ago now. These articles went over the future of Destiny, the 2 new expansions, Project Frontiers, all that stuff. But today I went back through them and I've actually found 3 additional things of information that I missed in my previous video. Basically, these are just speculative things that I've noticed and changes that could be coming to Destiny. Obviously, none of this is proven fact, but could just be interesting additions if these things actually do end up happening. The first 2 are just from the images that were shown, which are obviously subject to change, so this could just be a bug, but they do have some interesting insights. And then the final thing is just something that was written and I've taken in a particular way, which could mean something really cool for Destiny. But before we get into all those details, as usual, if you do go on to enjoy this video, if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel, I would very much appreciate it. And with that all being said, let's get into the first one here, which is inside of the Core Game Rewards article. Now down here you see that they talk about new weapon and armor tiers, and you can see in this image they have a tier 5 scout rifle with all enhanced traits, and a lot of people spotted that you can now get an enhanced origin trait, which is kind of cool. But if you look over at the actual stats of the weapon, you can see that you have your normal masterworked reload speed, handling, stability and range, but now you can also see masterworked impact on a scout rifle. Now normally you see masterworked impact on like a sword, or I think maybe rocket launchers might have that, but I believe only swords from the top of my head have Masterworked Impact, and that only increases their damage by a small amount. But if Masterworked Impact is able to be a thing on other weapons, that could be potentially the difference between winning a 1v1 or losing a 1v1 inside of PvP, or it could be the difference of defeating a raid boss within its final stand phase. So very big change there if that does in fact become a reality inside of Destiny 2 Project Frontiers. Moving on, we have another article here. This one is the core activities article, and you can see here that they are showing off a work in progress Last Way Strike rewards and difficulty changes, but on the left you can see all of the difficulty options and their respective recommended light levels, and all of these are a lot lower than what we currently are in the game. Currently we're about like 2000 power, I believe, roughly off the top of my head, but these, the lowest is 250, going up all the way to 400. So this could potentially mean a stat crunch is coming within Project Frontiers. A stat crunch is just basically taking, say, 1000 power in the live game, and then when Project Frontiers goes live, converting that into, say, 100 power. So you're basically not losing power, but it's kind of like a soft reset in a way, which would actually be really good for the game as a way of like helping newer players kind of understand the game more, because starting off the game at like 1990 power is kind of weird. So having them start at say like 100 power would be a lot better of a system, and going into this expansion, if we don't get a stat crunch, we're going to be expecting to reach like 3000 power level, which is kind of insane. If you're expecting a new player to then start off at what, like 2000 power, it's just kind of a weird starting point. And if they want to introduce newer players to this game, having you start at a lower level will just make sense. So having a stat crunch also makes sense and adds up. But obviously this could just be work in progress stuff, but just an interesting insight there. And then finally, we go into the main Frontiers article here, and this is mainly to do with the story and destination. Now, normally in a destination, we are expected the destination to look either like a circle or a straight line. And then they talk about the points of the story being you go to point A, point B, to point C, to point D. But in Codename Apollo, the first expansion within Project Frontiers, they want you to go from A, and then you can choose whether you want to go to B, C, or D first, and then backtrack to the other points. So basically giving you free reign over which parts of the story you interact with in what order. Now, for other destinations, I'm going to explain this in Paint, just to make it easier for you. For the Pale Heart destination, it was all one straight line, and you had point A over here, then point B, point C, and point D. You would start here, and then you'd make your way over to there, and to there within the story. During Destiny 2 Vanilla Story, you would normally have like a destination that's kind of like a donut, where you would start here in A, then you would go over here to B, then here to C, and then here to D, and you would go around it in a circle. This doesn't really work if you want players to be able to choose which parts of the story they interact with first, because obviously if they do a straight line and you start off at A, the closest point is obviously B, so you would just go there and then go to C and then end off at D. And with here, you would either go A to D and then go to C and B, or you would just go A to B to C to D. You wouldn't go from A to C, because you'll just be skipping out one of the other two and it just wouldn't make sense. So what they could potentially be doing here is actually doing what a lot of people have wanted Bungie to do for a while now, and make the first ever actual like fully open world kind of area where you just have points here randomly of different story beats. Just putting these in a random area, and let's say that you start off like here. This is where the main spawn point is for the destination, and then you can choose which part of the destination you go to experience what parts of the story you want. This is something that a lot of players have been wanting. The destinations themselves have been feeling pretty samey, so seeing a fully explorable open world destination for the first time, I feel like would be really, really cool and a step in the right direction here for Project Frontiers, and would make sense and fit in with the idea of you exploring and discovering stuff within this new destination. Obviously, you can't really explore something on a straight line because you're just going to be doing that in the same pattern. If you want people to be able to fully explore something, giving them freedom over where they go is something that would be really, really cool to see inside of Codename Apollo here inside of Project Frontiers. And that's the 3 things that I found within these articles that I wanted to go over here today. Obviously, leave your thoughts on them in the comment section down below. Do you think we're going to get the first ever fully open world destination here in Project Apollo? Do you think that other weapons are going to get Masterworked Impact for some reason? Do you think that we're going to get a stat crunch to help newer players come into the game? Leave your thoughts all down below in the comments, and who knows, maybe Bungie will see this video and maybe tweak some of the stuff, add some of the stuff, who knows. All of it, as I said before, is subject to change, so don't take any of this as like gospel fact. This is just me reading through again the different articles and just speculating on stuff that could be going on. Yeah, that's it for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed, remember, leave a like and subscribe. But that's it from me here today, so I'll catch you guys in the next one.